Good morning. My name is Miguel Conde, Senior History Major at Liberty University. The assertion that there's nothing more distinctive about Christian history than defending the gospel is a view that is narrow-minded and very limiting to the impact of the Christian historian. History is very broad, and much of it at a base level has little to do with Christianity. So we must not view the Christian historian as only having an identity when Christianity is the subject matter. If we don't, then we minimize our impact to the world. With that being said, we must interpret history responsibly from a Christian worldview, utilizing the Christian intellectual tradition. The responsibility of a Christian historian, as described by Dr. Samuel Smith in his video presentation, Christian Worldview and History, is to offer an objective and contextual interpretation of history, not a view of history that over-spiritualizes or focuses on God's involvement in history. The gospel is very important, but history outside of the Bible and not directly related to Christianity should be interpreted using a Christian worldview, but not as a Christian history. If one does not interpret history contextually and infuses Christianity and God's influence of judgment, then the historian loses their objectivity and may alienate many non-Christians, which ultimately may push them further away from Christianity. Christian historian Robert Louis Wilkin states that to think in the Christian intellectual tradition is to loosen the moorings that bind one to a particular tradition or a living religious community. This is not to say to let go of your beliefs, but rather interpreting with your beliefs in mind, but not letting them bias you. What I find most helpful from the Christian intellectual tradition are 2 points by Dr. Ian George in their book, The Tradition of Christian Thinking. They state that one cannot fall into the trap that many Christians and Christian institutions live with the concept of faith that is separate from and devoid of cognitive content. They further state that the tradition is an integration of faith and reason. Faith and reason are not mutually exclusive. This echoes Dr. Smith's sentiments, stating that we were made in God's images and we use the gifts He gave us, such as reason and creativity. As a Christian historian, we are responsible for interpreting history using reason objectively, so we are logical, intelligent, and not driven by any agenda. As stated in Dr. Smith's presentation, we also need to study history, understanding the relational and redemptive aspect, as well as remembering to look at history with the understanding that man is not sovereign. If we utilize the Christian intellectual tradition while employing a Christian worldview, we will offer an objective, well-thought-out interpretation of history, which will be a testimony to the fairness of our faith and the greatness of our God. Thank you.